angels, this is Chef Celeste coming to you from the Heavenly Plates Kitchen, and I missed you all so much. I know I've been away for a while. I'm working on getting you all more content, but in the meantime, I have some amazing videos already out. Check them out. Go subscribe to my YouTube at Heavenly Plates. Follow me on Instagram at Heavenly Plates. Like my page on Facebook, that's Heavenly Plates, Sides and Desserts. Anyway, I'm here today to bring you all one of the most hearty, satisfying dishes. But this is gonna warm you on the inside. It's a beef short rib pot pie. But first, I'm gonna show you all how I make my pie dough. I'm gonna show you something very simple. People don't always do it, but I'm going to show you how to peel a pearl onion. Then I'm going to show you how I put this beef short rib pot pie together. Now, with that being said, let's get started. Okay, first things first, we're going to make the pie dough. What I have here is 3 cups of all-purpose flour and about a teaspoon of salt. And the recipe calls for a stick of butter. I'm using the European style butter, whatever kind you like is fine, but as long as it's butter, don't get the cheap butter. Try to get some good butter. And a half a cup of vegetable shortening. Cut it in a little bit. Then I'm gonna put this in the food processor. I'm gonna cut this into and this is very cold butter. Cut this into like 1/2-inch squares. You gotta kind of work fast because you don't want your butter to melt. And toss it in the flour. Then pop it into the food processor and process it until both the butter and the flour is about, the butter and the vegetable shortening is about the size of a pea. And you got like pea-sized grains of butter mixed into the flour. Now I'm going to pulse it 10 times or 15 times, however many times is necessary just to get the flour and butter brought together. A little bit more. See some big steel here. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Let's take this off. Now that we've got the butter pulsed and incorporated into the flour and the salt, dump it out here. I'm going to add half a cup of water. Create a little well here, and then I'm just going to mix it in with the fork. And get this nice and hydrated. The flour wants to be wet. Okay. It's good to keep your ingredients for pie doughs very, very cold. Using cold ingredients because it helps with the crispiness and the just the overall texture of the pie dough. Okay. So I'm going to get this all brought together, and then I'm going to wrap it up in some plastic wrap and put it into the refrigerator. Okay, so what I like to do to bring my dough together and not handle it a lot is I like to bring it together on parchment paper. And so since this is not quite hydrated, just put a little drops of water here, and just bring this here.
This pie smells so good.
It's coming along. And sometimes I'll just fold it all together like this, and then just take the whole, and while I'm folding this like this, it's also hydrating, but it's also creating layers. This is still kind of dry here, So just add a little bit more water. Just drop some water. Drop some water here. Bring it together. And so what happens in the refrigerator, once I folded it up, what's going to happen is it's going to rest, and it's going to continue to hydrate as it rests in the refrigerator. I have some that's already finished, so I'm just going to take this right here, leave this here, fold this over, and just pop this in the refrigerator. Okay, angels, I'm back with the next phase to this dish. Like I told you at the beginning, I'm going to show you all how to peel pearl onions. These are pearl onions. It's about 8 ounces, 2 cups, something like that. Anyway, so the first thing you want to do is you want to cut off the root end of the pearl onion. And so I'm going to do that right here.
They're so cute.
And they're so delicious in this dish. Just cut off the root end, and then what you want to do is, you see here, I have a pot of boiling water, and after the boiling water, you put them in like an ice bath, and then I'll show you how the skin just pops off. Because can you like imagine trying to peel? Look. You would be doing this for about at least a couple years trying to get all the skin off of it. So this is a fast way to get pearl onions peeled, fresh ones. The original recipe actually calls for frozen pearl onions, but I opted in adopting this recipe, I've opted to use fresh pearl onions. I've made this recipe before, and with the fresh pearl onions, it's just so amazing. Here we are with the pearl onions with the root ends cut off, and I'm going to just take this and drop this into the boiling water. Once I take this out, I'm going to put it into a ice bath to shock it and stop them from cooking. Then I'm going to show you how to just pop these right out of the skin. Yeah, see, look. I'm going to take these on out. And just dump them into a water bath. And let them dump them into the water bath and shock them so they can stop cooking, because they have some more cooking to do. See that? See the skin here? Ta-da! See how easy that is? And actually you can actually do this to garlic too. I've done it to garlic. I'll put my cloves of garlic into some hot water, and they cut off the root end, and they'll come right out. So after this, we're going to move to the skillet, because we're going to start working on these on this beef short ribs and layering in all of that delicious flavor that these pot pies have. Hey angels, I'm back, and I'm set up here to brown the meat. It's beef short ribs. I have them here in this bowl. It's about 2.5 pounds, and they're wrapped in paper towel because I like to do that to help them dry out. Then from there, I'm going to add flour to the meat, but I'm also, which I'm going to do right now, is add my special Heavenly Place seasoning that I make myself. And I use this on so many of my dishes. It's just really a good all-purpose seasoning, and it really only has like 4 or 5 ingredients. So mix this up.
What are those ingredients?
I'm not telling. Don't be asking me about my secrets, boy. Y'all see her? Did y'all see this girl ask me about my secrets? Y'all know I don't tell y'all my secrets.
Unless they DM you, like, can I please know what you put in
Oh,
it?
yeah, if they DM me, then it's a wrap. They can DM me and ask me, and I'm putting this over the meat.
Wait, what just happened? Oh, you put the seasoning in the flour and you season it.
Yes.
Put it on the meat. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Can I have some of your wine?
No. She keep on asking me for stuff she can't have.
Please.
No. So I'm gonna brown this in a combination of this is olive oil and classic olive oil. It's two different kinds of olive oil, and this is just classic. Now the classic olive oil, you use that for like higher fat frying, for what I'm getting ready to do for browning. The other like EVOO, it's not always good for frying in or for browning because it has a low smoke point. So this you need to have something for like browning. You use an oil with a high smoke point. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm gonna clean my hands off and I'll be right back. But the smoke point is the point in which your fat starts to smoke. That's your smoke point. So if you have a oil like vegetable oil, and you're heating it for like deep frying something, then what will happen is that it would just get it can get real high in temperature. So it could go up to like 400 degrees, and it goes up to 400 degrees and it starts smoking. That's the smoke point.
Can you explain it again? I'm just playing. You did a great job.
Add a little bit of olive oil, my little olive oil mixture here, and then let this get hot. About 3 tablespoons. Okay, and let that get hot. Now I'm going to start adding the meat to the skillet. Okay, y'all know y'all love when I be cooking beef and y'all be seeing me in my Instagram story. Look at that. Look at that. And I'm going to tell you the reason why it's like that. See that nice crust right there that's on this? Look at this. Look at it. Remember at the beginning when I had it wrapped in a paper towel? I want you to know right now, moisture is your enemy when you are cooking things. Seriously, moisture is your enemy when you're cooking things that you want to brown. Only thing it's going to do is steam. You see how I got a little bit of space between each of these? You leave some space between it, and you make sure that your meat is dry. You pat it dry. Season it real good a day or two before you're going to cook it. And then just, of course, you know you have to wash it and clean it real good. I hope I don't have to tell y'all that, but some of y'all out here these days in these internet chef streets. Anyway, so yeah, just make sure you leave some space. Have your temperature up pretty high too. You know when you put it in, like you want your temperature to be medium high. So and you don't want it to burn this stuff right here. So you want to try to regulate the temperature.
Oh my god. I was blessed enough to taste one of those meat bite things. And it was quite possibly the best thing I've ever tasted.
So then goes the pearl onion. So I'm just going to turn this up. And we're going to gently, partially caramelize these because I really want that sweetness of these onions to come out. And like, I smell it. You smell how fragrant these onions are?
Losing it. Everything is incredible. I'm telling you, I would eat those meat bites like popcorn.
I give you all the stuff you asked for. Stop trying to eat my meat, girl. Okay, so as you can see, the onions have taken on some color, and they've gotten a little soft. Let's get this garlic in here because we're layering in some flavor here. So I'm gonna add about maybe a tablespoon, a little bit more than a tablespoon because we like garlic in our house, love it.
Yes.
Okay, so just about a tablespoon and a half of garlic, and we're just gonna cook this for a minute or two, get this nice and fragrant. Okay, so like I said, my family, they love garlic, so I think that on this step I'm just gonna add just a little bit more, and let it get soft. Let that garlic again meld in with this brown crusty. It's called fond. It's just full of all of the flavors of the things that's been cooked in this skillet. It's full of the flavors of the onion. It's full of the flavors of the meat. And so now we're just going to soften this garlic here up just a little bit. It's getting a little toasty. And we're going to add some tomato paste. About 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm going to reduce this to half. Bring this up to a boil. Then drop it down to a simmer and let it reduce. And this should be reduced to half in about 8 to 10 minutes, maybe less, maybe 3 to 5 to 8, something like that. There we go. Bring this up to a boil, then drop it down to a simmer. And let that simmer until it's reduced. Okay, so now I'm just going to add some sprigs of thyme and a couple sprigs of rosemary, 4 cups of beef broth, and I'm just going to let this cook for about 7 to 8 minutes. Then I'll be adding the meat. So this is the broth and everything, and I'm going to start adding in the meat. Okay, now here, all of the meat is added to the broth, the liquid, and we're going to turn this down low. Turn it down to a nice, steady simmer. And simmer this baby for 2 hours. And this is the dough that I started earlier. So, just got to roll it out here. And it's a little melted, so I'm going to just sprinkle some flour on here to cover and lock in that butter so it don't be melted. And so you roll it out about 1 inch or 2 past the rim of your dish, whatever dish you're going to use. There we go. I'm trying to see where in the world. Alright, that's on there. And I'm pressing the dough into the pan, and since this is a little melty, I'm gonna pop this bad boy in the freezer real quick and let it chill. Okay, I'm back, and now we have just a little review of what all we've done. We made pie dough. We have the meat here, and we have our pearl onions. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the pearl onions to the meat here. So I'm stirring in the pearl onions. Look at that. Look at these chunks of meat here. Look at that. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a pinch of thyme, fresh thyme here. Stir this up, and it's ready for the pie shell. So now I'm going to take the pie shell and I'm just going to cut off the edges all the way around. Okay, so now I'm just going to put all of the rest of the meat and onions in here. Look at that. Look at that. Now that's a meaty pie. This is a beef short rib pot pie. Not a vegetable and whatever. This is a beef short rib pot pie. Just going to take it here. That off again. And I just put parchment paper on it. And I'm just going to drape this over the top of it like that, like so. And then I'm going to go under. And I'm just going to pinch all of this together. And I'm going to cut off the excess.
It kind of reminds me of plastic surgery for some reason.
I'm going to cut this off. Cut this off. Leave some on to tuck under. About 1/2 inch. I have been so busy these past few months, just preparing for this moment. And I'm just really, really happy to be back doing what I love to do, interacting with my angels and just loving all of this, okay? There, it's all put together. Now, put me some dots in this pie right here. Brush this on here real fast. The heavy whipping cream, I like it because it gives a beautiful, even brown color to the pie crust. Oh, you can do it. Oh, I'm just bring it in some. Is that beautiful?
Yes.
And some milk here. Okay, so now I'm just going to sprinkle this very ever so lightly with some flake sea salt and put it in the oven. I have preheated the oven to 375 degrees. And so I'm going to put the pie in the oven right now. This is my new toaster oven, air fryer, and convection oven, and it's got like all kinds of presets on it. Here, let me pop this in and close it up. Then I'm going to finish telling you all about this amazing piece of equipment that I acquired, and I'm so happy with it. It's like, oh, such a lifesaver. I don't have to turn on my big oven. I don't have to worry about the inconsistencies of my oven because the temperature is so accurate, and I am just so loving this piece of equipment. Made my night so much easier. Cannot wait for that pie to come out the oven. Okay, and here are the beef short rib pot pies. Let me get a fork so I can try these out for you. And these are ones that I cooked earlier today. Look how flaky that crust is. You dig down in it. I'm just gonna taste a little bit. The meat smells so delicious. all of the herbs, rosemary, thyme. Let me taste it. I kiss myself. Oh, girl, look at this. Whew. Well, angels, we did it. We made the most decadent, delicious, savory, flavorful beef short rib pot pie. I'm going to leave the recipe in the description. I'm going to have a link to the video on my Instagram, and you all have really learned some things. You learned about how to make this crispy, crunchy, tender, melt in your mouth pie dough. The key is keeping the dough chilled as much as possible, and really being light-handed with rolling. Some more stuff, but we'll get around to all of those details on another video. Let me see, what else did we do? We squeezed the the pearl onions out, so you learned how to peel pearl onions. Very simple. Let's see, what else did we do? We browned some meat and got that really nice caramelization on it, and it's just tender, very, very tender. And I guess that's it.
Also, you made a really pretty pie topping. Like, I think we need to appreciate that more.
Oh, yes.
Show it.
Look at that. Look at that. See that beautiful painted leaf and the berries? And if you have any questions, you can always hit me up on my DMs. That's fine with me. I appreciate it. And I just look forward to our next meeting. Thank you for being here, angels. I love you. Chef Celeste from the Heavenly Place Kitchen, in and out.